The meeting dragged on for almost 3 hours, but it seemed routine to Liam. He remained completely calm, confident that his team was effectively coping with all the tasks set. However, the situation changed when disagreements arose over the duties of the chief engineer. The chief engineer was clearly disappointed, feeling that he was burdened not only with engineering duties, but also with administrative tasks that were not within his competence. Liam then addressed the CEO directly. "The chief engineer is right. I would suggest relieving him of some administrative duties. It's not his job to sit back and wait for contractors or deal with approvals and permits. His main responsibility should be to ensure the timely preparation of technical documentation." The CEO thought for a moment before replying. "Liam, maybe you're right. This is exactly the issue that we discussed at the council. Here's my suggestion. Let's divide the duties of the chief engineer and yours." Kirill raised an eyebrow. "So, you're suggesting my department take on more work?" "No," the CEO clarified. "I'm offering you the position of First Deputy General Director. You'll find someone to manage your department. We've got an office ready for you, and you'll share a reception area with the chief engineer. Of course, everything will be done by the book. You'll be notified of the transfer 2 months in advance, and your written consent will be required." That was the end of the meeting. Liam headed back to his office, mulling over the unexpected offer. Although the offer promised a substantial salary increase and assignment of responsibilities, the prospect of change did not frighten him. He had time to think about everything. The office phone rang. Liam picked up the phone, and a soft, friendly female voice greeted him. "Hello, is this Liam?" "Yes, that's me. How can I assist you? Who am I speaking with?" "My name is Olivia. We studied at the same university, although you graduated a couple of years earlier than me." "Aha, that was quite a while ago." "So, yes, it was a long time ago. But that's not the point. Your wife. Well, she studied with my husband Dylan. They weren't just classmates, they also lived together back then." Dylan paused, and then calmly replied, "I know that Amelia was dating someone before we met. I've never felt the need to dig into the past. That was before us. So, what are you trying to tell me? Has your wife mentioned their class reunion this Friday? It's been 15 years since they graduated." "No, she didn't bring it up," Liam replied, more focused now. "Well, there's a lot she hasn't told you. Such as, she has been preparing for this for more than 2 weeks. Dylan has even booked a hotel room in your city, right in front of the cafe where the alumni meeting will take place. The homeroom teacher is organizing the whole event, and most of their former classmates have already confirmed that they will attend." Liam frowned slightly. "So what?" "And," Olivia continued, "the peculiarity is that this meeting is only for classmates, no spouses. At least that's how it will be designed for your wife." "And what is your position in all this?" Liam asked in a firm tone. "I want my husband to go to your city, and while he's gone, I'll pack his things and send them to his house. I've already prepared the divorce papers. I'll file them 3 days before he leaves for the reunion. Grounds for divorce: adultery. I've already caught him cheating twice, and now I've caught him again for the 3rd time, although he doesn't know it yet." "Did you catch him with my wife?" Liam's voice tightened slightly. "No," Olivia clarified. "Your wife was involved in one of his projects. I just don't want this man to destroy another family. Give me your email address, and I'll send you their messages and phone records." Liam hesitated. "Where did you get all this?" "After the 2nd time I caught him cheating, I made him pay. He promised it wouldn't happen again, but I knew better. I installed spyware on his phone, tracked everything, texts, calls, everything that comes in or goes out. I see it all. That's how I know what I know." Liam gave her his email address, thinking that he would probably be able to get the same information from his wife's computer or phone. There were 3 days left until Friday, not counting today. Before meeting with Amelia and escalating the situation, he decided to assess how serious it really was. Thinking about it, he changed his email password and checked if mail forwarding was set up. After a while, Liam checked his mailbox. Of course, the files Olivia had promised were there, audio recordings and text messages, all neatly arranged and numbered. It was time for lunch, but Cyril, without hesitation, saved the files to a separate folder on his computer. He decided to start with audio files. The first call played. "Hello, I'm listening." "Amelia. Hi. Who's this? Don't you recognize my voice? You used to know it from my very first breath." "Dylan, is that you?" I asked. "Of course it's me. It's been so many years. How did you find me?" "That's a military secret. Are you still in the city?" "Not yet, but I'll be there soon. I'm not far away, just dealing with my wife, my kids, you know. I married Olivia. It was, well, difficult." "Is it difficult? You married her father's money, not her. You're no saint either. Do you think I'm some kind of nun?" she retorted, voice playful. "I'm a living woman. I wanted happiness too. Now I have a husband and a 12-year-old daughter." "And do you love your husband?" "Does it matter? The point is, I have one. I had my daughter mostly for him, to raise for himself, but I love her." "What else did you keep for yourself?" Dylan continued in a curious voice. "I have everything. A husband who loves me, a daughter, and a stable, comfortable life. He earns well, takes care of us, and frankly, everything is going great, both at home and at work," Amelia replied with satisfaction. Dylan sighed. "Yes, I love my wife, but it's not the same. It's not like the love you and I had. You're the only one I've ever really loved." "That's just your perspective," she said coolly. "How can you claim that, though? You vanished ages ago. You don't know my husband." "Well, I'm back, and I'll be in your city for 3 days. I think we could, spend some time together. Fix the mistakes we made when we were younger," Dylan suggested in a meaningful tone. "And how do you think I should explain this to my husband and daughter? That I'll be gone for 3 days?" Amelia asked. "Tell your dear that you're going on a business trip, a sudden inspection of your branch office. Coincidentally, the branch is in our city. I'll even bring you an official business trip certificate with the stamp, so it's all covered." Liam sat in silence until the recording ended. He wasn't sure if his wife really loved him, and yet he knew that she was happy with their life, at least outwardly. There were no obvious signs that she had accepted Dylan's offer to resurrect their past. Liam realized that, judging by the documents and records provided by Olivia, Amelia, and Dylan's past, was nothing more than fleeting meetings and a short-term infatuation. Nothing serious, despite rumors about their life together. However, one thing bothered him: Amelia's reticence. She didn't say a word about the reunion, despite the fact that she had been planning it for 2 weeks. Wouldn't she give it up at the last moment, saying it didn't really matter? The next day, when Kirill was in his office, the phone rang again. "Good afternoon, Kirill." Olivia's voice greeted him on the other end of the line. "Hello, Olivia," Liam greeted her. "I'm glad you recognized me. I have some news. I met with the private investigator I hired this morning. His report is ready, and I've learned all the dirty details about my husband's affairs." After that, I sat down next to my father and laid the evidence right on the table. He was stunned. "Dylan's fate is sealed. I just wanted you to know that you don't need to hold back right now. Do what you think is right. As soon as Dylan gets on this train, his belongings will be taken out, and the divorce papers will go to court. Besides, he will lose his job." "Can you fire him?" Kirill asked, surprised by the confidence in her voice. "No, I can't. But my father can," Olivia explained. "When he found out that his son-in-law was secretly dating his mistress, well, let's just say Dad wasn't the forgiving type. He was ready to tear him apart." Liam was silent for a while. "And that's not all," Olivia continued. "The people I hired to spy on Dylan found another woman, also married. How can I help you?" Liam asked, although he wasn't sure he could. Honestly, you don't have to do anything, Olivia replied calmly. I completely distance myself from Dylan. I have transferred all my legal affairs to a lawyer. My father can deal with him, and I'm going to the Emirates. I need a break. The sun, the sea, all that. Got it. But you know, if Dylan comes to town, his train will be arriving Friday at 4:30 p.m. The reunion starts at 6 p.m. in that cafe downtown. The details are all in the messages I sent you, she reminded him. Liam still had no concrete plan for how to approach this upcoming reunion. Amelia hadn't mentioned anything about it, nor had she indicated any business trip on the horizon. But when they met for their usual Friday lunch, Amelia casually brought it up. Liam, she said, seemingly out of the blue, we have a course reunion tonight at a cafe. Oh, Liam asked, acting as though it was the first he'd heard of it. What time's the event? It starts at 18 o'clock. I'll go home, change into something more decent. For example, a white shirt. And I'll wait for you there. Shall we go together? Liam asked with a slight smile. Liam, slightly caught off guard by her sudden transparency, replied, No, it's a reunion without husbands and wives. Liam looked at him in surprise. What? Are you ashamed to show me to your former classmates? Do I look that bad? She teased, though there was uncertainty in her tone. Come on, Liam, Amelia said, trying to sound casual. It's just a reunion without spouses. And as far as I know, you meet up with your classmates from time to time too. I'm always there, and I don't make a fuss about it. Liam, his expression firm, replied, Clearly, someone I don't know is going to be at this reunion. If you're asking for my permission to go without me, my answer is no. But I doubt that'll stop you. So, I'm letting you know now, by the time you come home, our daughter and I will be gone. On Monday, I'll start the divorce process. Amelia stared at him, utterly shocked. She hadn't expected such a drastic reaction, especially talk of divorce. Confused, she asked, Liam, I don't understand. What's the big deal about me going to sit with old friends at a cafe? Sure, I know people will be coming in from out of town, but I don't know exactly who. Have you been spying on me? No, Liam said flatly, I haven't. But someone you don't know has been filling me in. Anyway, this conversation is pointless. You can head to the train station, meet your old friends. But you know what'll happen. He stood up abruptly, cutting the conversation short. Lunch is over. I got to go. Without so much as a goodbye, Liam walked out of the cafe, leaving Amelia sitting there in a swirl of confusion and panic. She hadn't anticipated things going this far. The realization hit her hard. Her choices might cost her everything. She had never intended to lose her family. Yet here she was, with plans to meet Dylan at the train station, take him to the hotel, and head to the reunion together. Now, every one of those steps seemed like a direct path to the end of her marriage, and the weight of it was crushing. She had originally thought it would be a simple evening spent with former classmates, and yes, with Dylan, the man she had once shared a brief connection with, long ago. But the situation had shifted, and now she was caught in a dilemma she hadn't seen coming. Years ago, everything had gone differently for Dylan. He had met another classmate, a woman whose father was a powerful businessman, and Dylan saw an opportunity. He pursued her, and when he proposed, she said yes, even though her father disapproved. To keep the peace, the father reluctantly agreed. After that, their relationship became distant, and Amelia didn't hear from Dylan again. It became clear that his career had been his only real interest, and that was why their casual meetings had ended. So when Dylan had reached out after all those years, Amelia had been pleasantly surprised. She suspected that Evelyn, the class leader who had always harbored feelings for Dylan, had mentioned her name. Evelyn worked at the same company as Amelia, in the same department, so it wasn't far-fetched. But none of that seemed to matter now. What mattered was the decision she had to make. Should she risk it all for a reunion that now seemed fraught with hidden dangers? Amelia had no doubt that if she went to the reunion, Liam would follow through on his threat and file for divorce. That evening, when Liam came home, Amelia was sitting with their daughter, helping her with her schoolwork. As soon as she saw him, she said, "I made dinner. If you wait 5 minutes, we can all eat together." "That's fine," Liam replied, his tone neutral. Soon after, Amelia called Liam to the table. As they sat down to eat, she sighed and said, "Kids these days get such difficult homework. I barely figured it out, and then our daughter had to explain it to me." "Well, times have changed," Liam said. "What do you expect? It's the digital age." "Yeah, but computers can't do everything," she countered. "Someone still has to teach them how to solve problems. So in the end, people have to be smarter." Their daughter finished her meal quickly and ran off to her room. With just the two of them left at the table, Amelia turned to Liam, her voice softer now. "Liam, I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner about the reunion. To be honest, I didn't think it was that important. I didn't even know if I'd go until today. Our class leader convinced me at the last minute. I planned to talk to you about it during lunch, but, well, I guess I should have handled it differently." Liam didn't respond right away, then finally asked, "And who were you planning to meet at the train station?" Amelia exhaled. "It's Dylan. We dated before you came into my life. But there was never anything serious between us. He ended up marrying Olivia, whose father is a big businessman, to advance his career. Dylan somehow got my number, called me, and talked me into meeting at the reunion. He even mentioned booking a hotel room for 3 days, but that wasn't my plan. I just wanted to see him. I wasn't going to stay with him. Tell me, would you really leave me over this?" Liam leaned back in his chair, his expression still hard to read. "You weren't just going to a reunion, Amelia. You were going on a date. Not with me, but with another man. It might have felt innocent to you, but for me, it would have been a catastrophe. That could have been the end of our marriage." "No, Liam," Amelia said, her voice sincere. "I don't want a divorce. Dylan is not someone I care about in that way anymore, and nothing would have happened. But I understand why you'd have doubts if I went. I'm sorry I didn't tell you about his attention sooner." Later that night, as Amelia and Liam were getting ready for bed, the doorbell rang. Surprised, Liam went to answer it, wondering who would visit at such a late hour. When he opened the door, he was greeted by a tipsy group of Amelia's classmates, led by the class leader. They greeted him with loud, joyful voices. Liam, caught off guard, invited them inside. They quickly pulled a table together in the living room, and everyone found a seat. It turned into an impromptu reunion of sorts, right there in their apartment. Dylan, who was apparently in charge of the group, spoke with a touch of irritation. "Amelie, we were waiting for you in the cafe, but we decided that if the mountain does not come to Mohammed, then Mohammed will go to the mountain." Amelia raised an eyebrow. "Dylan, I don't get it. How are you even connected to our group?" "Well, I studied with you guys during the first year before switching to another group," Dylan explained, trying to maintain his confidence. Amelia looked at him pointedly. "Has your wife, Olivia, already left for the Emirates?" "The Emirates? Why would she go there?" Dylan asked, confused. Amelia didn't miss a beat. "She told me she's divorcing you. I assumed you already knew." "What?" Dylan's face drained of color. "She really wants a divorce." "Yes, that's what she decided," Amelia continued. "Seems like she wasn't too happy about you finding yourself another girlfriend." Liam, who had been quietly watching the exchange, added calmly, "And you're not happy either, are you?" The room fell into an awkward silence. Dylan was visibly rattled, unsure of how to respond. Just half an hour ago, he had been boasting to their classmates about his success in managing the company, and now his personal life had crumbled before him. Liam broke the silence again. "So when are you planning to head back home?" Dylan mumbled, "Tomorrow, I think." There's a morning train. The gathering at Liam and Amelia's place wrapped up quickly after that, and the guests left one by one. Once the apartment was quiet again, Amelia turned to Liam. "How did you know Olivia went to the Emirates?" she asked. Liam shrugged slightly. "She told me herself. She's caught him cheating on her more than once, and this time she caught him again on his way here. His plan was to reconnect with you, to make up for what they missed in their younger years. That's why he booked that hotel for 3 days." Amelia was taken aback. "You knew about this?" Liam nodded. "Yes, I did. He even suggested I arrange a business trip for you, offering to provide all the official paperwork to cover it." "Did he really call you about this?" Liam asked incredulously. "Yes, he called," his wife replied, and then added with a note of confidence. "And I'll say it again. I was just curious to see him, nothing more. After our conversation over lunch, I realized that you didn't like the idea, so I ignored his calls. And as soon as you got home, I turned off my phone. I didn't expect him and the others to come here tonight. While we were setting the table, I learned from our classmates that it was Dylan's idea to visit us." "And what did he think was going to happen?" Amelia wondered aloud. Liam shook his head. "I'm not sure, but he left here shaken. His whole world fell apart in just one evening. Everything he had built up, bending over backwards to please people, is gone. His wife finally left him, and I doubt she ever really valued him after the first betrayal. Her patience ran out, and with her father being such a powerful figure in the industry, Dylan's probably in for a world of trouble." Amelia raised an eyebrow. "So there was more than one woman?" Liam nodded. Amelia sighed, letting the weight of the evening's revelations sink in. "All right, let's clean up after the guests, sit in the kitchen, and have one more drink together."